Do you know that words have jobs to do? Every word in the English language has a job to do or a purpose to fulfill. Some of them have two or more, and they're classified or grouped according to the job that they do. We've got nouns, we've got adjectives, we've got verbs and adverbs, and there's a whole list of them, and they all do a different job. And the sort of jobs that they do are they name things. They tell us more information. They tell us about colour. They tell us about style, about shape, texture, all different information that we need. So they're all giving us different types of information that we need to know about. Today, we're going to look at nouns, see what information they give us, and see how they work. The only way to learn is to talk. Hi there, I'm Ed Anguish from Speak English with Ed, where we give help to new ESOL speakers who are looking to learn English. I'm particularly pleased that you're here today because we're going to be talking about nouns. So let's jump straight in and get on with it. Now, you probably know that nouns are naming words, but what do they name? They name people, they name places, they name things or objects. What I want you to do now is stop the video and write down some names that come to mind here. Write down 5 men's names or boys' names, 5 ladies' names or girls' names, 5 places and 5 things that are related to your country. So names and places and objects. Write them down, stop the video, put 5 minutes on your phone, and then come back, and if you need 5 minutes you may be able to do it quicker, and then come back and we'll have a look and see what's what, and I'll do the same. Right, you're back. How did you get on? Did you okay? No problem? Right, let's have a look and see what I've got. I've got for ladies' names, I've got Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Louisa and Dorothy. They're my ladies' names. Now, Louisa, that was my mother's name, and I had an auntie called Dorothy. For the men, I've got George, I've got Michael, Thomas, Scott and Peter. Now Scott is my grandson and Peter is his middle name. How did you get on? Have you managed to find 5 girls and 5 boys' names? Good. Now for the places, I've got Yorkshire. That's the area that I live in. I live in West Yorkshire in England. I've got Thailand because that's where my wife comes from. She's a Thai national, and I've got Thailand down as a second place. I've got an airport. I put airport. That's a place that we go to when we want to catch a plane to go to Thailand. Airport. I've got supermarket. Now supermarket, this is the place where we go when you want to buy food and groceries and things for the home. And I've got the garden shed. Now the garden shed is a building right at the end of the garden where we put the lawnmower and the shovel and the gardening equipment and the wheelbarrow and things. So that's a garden shed. That is a place at the end of the garden. Now things. For things I've got a computer, I've got bread knife, I've got a pair of shoelaces. I think these are all things, just ordinary things with names, and they're all nouns. I've got a rosebud. You can name a rosebud. And I've got an aeroplane, the aeroplane that we catch at the airport to go to Thailand. So everything has a name. Now what I want you to do is keep your list. When you've watched the video, go down into the comments and post into the comments all the names that you've got. You should have 20. 5 boys' names, 5 girls' names, 5 place names, and 5 objects and things, all related to your own country. But type them in English so that I can read them and see what sort of things you've put down. What I'll do is I'll put my list down so you can see first. You'll be able to see what I've put. So that'll give you an idea of what we're looking for. Just call it nouns from my country. And put the name of your country. Put nouns from and then put the name of your country, and that way I know where you're from. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do now is show you a sentence that we've got, and I want you to read the sentence and then identify the noun, the nouns that's in there. So I want you to stop the video and then write the sentence out, write it out in your book, and then underline all the nouns. Underline them in different colours, the different types of nouns. See if you can get the nouns and what type of noun they are, whether they're name, whether they're a place, or whether they're a thing. So just write everything down. Just stop the video and then come back to the video and we'll see just how we're getting on. George the carrot and Colin the cabbage were very happy growing together side by side in the vegetable patch. They were growing beside a rusty old trowel that had been pushed into the soil to tie a string line to keep the row straight. Right, now pause the video and then highlight all the nouns that's in there. Use a different pen. Underline the nouns, different types of nouns in a different colour, so that you'll learn to recognise them. There's names and there's places and there are objects or things. So do that, pause the video and then come back and see how you got on. Right, so the first word is a noun. It's Colin, and so is the fifth one along, that's George. But can you tell me what sort of noun they are? Yeah, I know. I can hear you all shouting at your screens at the moment. They are names. Okay, they are names. George and Colin, they're names. The next one we've got is a vegetable patch. Now, both of these words individually are nouns. Vegetable and patch. They're both nouns. One's a vegetable and one's a patch. So together here, as they are together, vegetable patch, they're a noun phrase, and a noun phrase has got a different meaning to the two nouns that we've got in there, right? So a vegetable patch isn't a vegetable and it isn't a patch. Okay, it's a vegetable patch. They're both nouns, but can you tell me what sort they are? Now then, come on, tell me. They're, yep, that's right, they're places. It's a place. This is a place in the garden where you plant vegetables. It's a vegetable patch. Oh, that's what we call it over here anyway. It's a place name. Right, the next group are obviously they're going to be things. Here, things, objects or things. And what have we got? We've got a carrot, we've got a cabbage, there's a trowel, which is old and rusty, there's soil, and there's a line and a row. Okay, all these are objects. Did you find them all? Did you get them all right? Did you get them all grouped in the right sort of place? Yeah, I'm sure you did. Well done anyway, well done. So we've got two types of noun here. We've got common noun and we've got proper nouns. Okay, now common nouns are those which describe people, places, objects, animals, ideas, thoughts. These are all common nouns. Now a common noun does not start with a capital letter unless it's the first word in a sentence. Always the first word in a sentence starts with a capital letter. It lets you know that you're beginning a new sentence, so you put capital letter in. But if you get any of these words in the middle of a sentence or at the end, do not start them, do not put a capital letter. They all start with a lowercase or small letter. The first word of a sentence is always capital letter, big letter for capital letter, right? Then there are proper nouns. Now, proper nouns are the names of people, places, religions, sport events, things like this, days of the week, months of the year, anything that's been named specifically, then that comes with a capital letter. Proper names always start with the capital letter, no matter whether they're the beginning of a sentence, in the middle of a sentence, or at the end of a sentence. They always start with a capital letter, a big letter. Now, common nouns also fall into split into two categories. Again, we've got concrete nouns, we've got abstract nouns. Okay, now concrete nouns, these are things that you can touch and hold and feel. We named some of these earlier on, things that you can that you have in your own country, and you're going to pop them in the you're going to pop them in the comments below so that I can see them. But these are all concrete nouns because you can physically touch them and see them. They're things like pen and paper and bread knife, as we had, the rice cooker, a rice cooker, microphone. They're all concrete nouns because you can see them and you can touch them. Now, abstract nouns, these are, you can't see them and you can't touch them, but you know they're there. You cannot see them though, but you know they're there. And they're things like ideas. Oh, I had an idea. That is an abstract noun. Ideas are abstract nouns. Thoughts are abstract nouns. Emotions, such things as trust. You know you can trust somebody. You give them your trust. It's a noun. Okay? You give them your emotions. You give somebody your love. You love somebody. It's a noun. And your health as well. Your health, that's a noun. So you can't see it, you can't touch it. So you can feel it, but you can't physically touch it and hold it. You can't hold your health in your hand. So, but they're all nouns, and these are abstract nouns. Now, there's also a third type of noun, and it's called a collective noun. Do you know what a collective noun is? Well, a collective noun is when you take a whole group of something and you refer to it as one thing. Let me explain. You can take a swarm of bees. Now, a swarm of bees is thousands of bees probably. There's probably thousands in a swarm, but we refer to one swarm, a swarm of bees. We don't refer to the bees. We usually say there's a swarm of bees. We have a flock of sheep. Sheep, they come in flocks. A flock of sheep can be anything from just a few sheep in a little paddock to thousands of sheep on a sheep farm. Lots of countries have sheep farms. Australia, New Zealand, these all have sheep farms, and there could be thousands of sheep in some of these flocks, but they're referred to as one flock, a flock, that's all. And then you've got a hand of bananas. Bananas, when they cut the bananas off the bunch, we've done it in Thailand, you get a bunch of bananas, and it's called a hand of bananas, which is a group of all the same thing, but it's a group. And then there's mountains. Mountains, you get lots of different mountains, lots of different peaks, all in a range. They may be all in a row or something like this, and they're called a range of mountains, although there's a range, although there could be lots of different mountains. And a company can have a fleet of cars. Maybe a company's got 50 or 60 cars, but they call it their fleet. It's a fleet of cars. All these are collective nouns. Now I'm going to show you a block of text, and I'll read it for you as well, and I want you to identify all the nouns and the types of nouns just as we did earlier. Write the text out in your book and underline all the nouns in different colours for the different types of nouns. You can use different coloured pencils, you can use a pen or whatever, or a highlighter, whatever you want, but in your own book so that you know what you've done. Then go over to noksted.com. There's a link below the video here. It's called Link to Answers, go over there and check to see what the answers are. And then let me know in the comments below as well. Let me know how many you got, how you did in the answers. Here's your sentence. Just a few weeks ago, in July, my wife and I went on holiday to visit family and friends in our home country of Thailand. It was really nice to see them all again after such a long time. It was so good to be able to walk to the farm and pick bananas and lemons and mangoes straight off a tree and eat them with the warmth of the sun still inside the fruit. And there was a herd of buffalo in the next paddock. The weather is a lot different to what we have here in the United Kingdom, with higher temperatures and more thunderstorms. Okay, so copy that text down into your book and highlight or underline all the nouns. Use different colours with pens, it'll look better. It'll be easier for you to understand if you use different colours. And then pop over to, follow the link in the description below here. Go over to noksted.com and check your answers against the answers on that page. Then post how well you did in the answers. Let me know how many you got right and which ones you were struggling with. So if you want to know anything more about nouns, then check this video next, and that just leaves for me to say thank you very much for watching, and take care, look after yourself, and practice, 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 and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.